Welcome to Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. I'm your host, LaFortune, and today we are diving into a topic that resonates with many of us: raising culturally aware children. As single parents, we wear many hats. Some days we are chefs or chauffeurs, other days we are tutors, cheerleaders, and bedtime storytellers. But among the most important roles we hold is that of being our children's first teachers. The values, knowledge, and habits we cultivate at home become the foundation for how they see the world and themselves in it. In a society that's becoming increasingly interconnected, it's essential that we raise kids who are not only proud of their own identities, but also respectful and curious about the cultures and traditions of others. Teaching, tr- Teaching cultural awareness is not just about honoring your family heritage, it's about giving your children the tools and thrive in a diverse world. And as single parents, we know that life is busy and time is limited. But I promise you, nurturing cultural awareness doesn't require grand gesture. It's in the small intentional things we do every day. In today's episodes, we will explore ways to foster a deeper appreciation for diversity and heritage in our children. We'll cover how you can embrace your own culture, introduce your kids to new cultures, have meaningful conversation about identity and inclusion, and handle the challenges that come along the way. This journey may feel overwhelming at times, but don't worry, you are not alone. Let's get started. Let's start with the basics. Cultural awareness goes beyond knowing where you come from. Yes, understanding your own cultural roots is a key part of self identity, but that's only the beginning. True cultural awareness involves recognizing, respecting, and appreciating the variety of cultures that exist in the world. It's about embracing both the beauty in our differences and the values that connect us all. And in today's world, cultural awareness isn't just nice to have, it's an essential skill. Our children will grow up in classroom, workplaces, and communities filled with people who have different traditions, beliefs, and experiences. The earlier we help them learn how to engage respectfully with that diversity, the more prepared they will be to navigate the world with empathy and open mind. Whether you have roots in our one culture or blend several in your family, helping your kids develop this awareness will nurture valuable qualities like empathy, curiosity, and mutual respect. When children learn early on that different doesn't mean less than, they grow up understanding that everyone's story matters and that every culture brings something unique to the table. As a single parent, you have the opportunity to shape these perspectives, often in ways that feel small or unintentional. It might be through conversations about the meaning of family tradition, watching a movie that showcases another culture, or simply modeling respect with interacting with people from different backgrounds. These moments, however ordinary they may seem, build a foundation for your child's understanding of the world. One of the gifts of single parenting is that because we spend so much focused time with our children, we can be especially intentional about the values we instill in them. It's not about having all the answers or mastering every cultural nuance. It's about showing them how to be curious, respectful, and eager to learn from others. Every interaction, every story, and every conversations offers a chance to teach them that the world is full of diverse perspectives and that these differences are not something to fear, but something to embrace. Your kids will look to you to understand their roots. As parents, we are their first connection to who they are and where they come from. Sharing family traditions, stories, or language creates a strong sense of identity that helps them feel grounded. And it is important to remember that the small things matter just as much as the big ones. Whether it's preparing traditional meals together, playing music from your culture, or celebrating holidays in a meaningful way. These simple acts become lasting memories that shape how your children see themselves. For me, growing up in Cameroon, I was fortunate to be surrounded by a beautiful tapestry of cultures, 256 ethnicities, each with its own dialect, cuisine, and values. This diversity wasn't just a background, it was woven into everyday life. Whether it was a different language spoken at the market or learning the customs of a neighboring tribe, I had to adapt constantly to new cultural norms. That experience taught me how to appreciate each culture equally without seeing one as superior to another. It became second nature to approach differences with curiosity and respect. Now, as a parent, I carry that lesson forward. I understand that embracing my own culture, no matter where I am, is not just a personal act of pride, but also a gift to my children. It empowers them to feel connected to their roots, even if the world around them looks different from what I grew up with. For those of us raising kids in environments where our culture may not be the majority, it can sometimes feel like an uphill battle to maintain that connection. But it's worth the effort. When children know where they come from, they carry a sense of pride and confidence that helps them thrive. Even in the environment or community looks different from your own upbringing, every story you tell, every dish you cook, and every cultural song you sing becomes a thread that ties them to their heritage. And embracing this journey yourself, you are modeling the importance of knowing who they are while also teaching them to honor the experiences of others. It's also essential to introduce your children to cultures beyond their own from an early age. The more exposure they get, the more they learn to appreciate the beauty of different traditions, perspectives, and ways of living. You don't have to go far or wait for big opportunities. Small everyday moments can make a big impact. Books and movies, for example, are excellent ways to introduce cultural diversity from the comfort of your home. Stories about children from different countries, holidays, or lifestyles can spark curiosity and make learning about new culture fun. If your child loves movie, choose films from other culture or animated features that highlight different traditions and ways of life. Even music from around the world, whether it's Afrobeat, salsa, folk songs, can open their minds to new sounds and rhythms. Festivals and cultural events in your community are another great way to immerse your children in diverse experiences. Many cities host multicultural celebration where kids can experience everything from trying new foods to learning new folk dances. These events are often child friendly and allow your little ones to meet people that from different backgrounds. If traveling is possible, family trips, whether across the globe or just to a new neighbor in a new city, can provide hands on learning experiences that stay with your kids for years. In today's digital world, virtual resources are also at your fingertips. Virtual museum tours, cultural story sessions, or even online cooking lessons allow kids to experience the richness of different cultures from home. One of the most powerful ways to nurture cultural awareness, though, is through relationships. Encourage your children to build friendships with kids from different backgrounds, whether at school, in extracurricular activities, or in your community. Friendships are where real learning happens, where kids see firsthand that people may speak different languages or celebrate different holidays, but share the same emotions, dreams, and struggles. These connections teach them that diversity isn't just an abstract concept, but a natural and beautiful part of life. The goal is to raise children who are not only understand their own culture and heritage, but also feel comfortable engaging with and learning from other cultures. When kids are exposed to diversity early, they grow up with a mindset that's open, curious, and compassionate. They learn that there is no single way to live or thrive, and that every culture has something valuable to offer. This mindset prepares them to navigate an increasingly diverse world, not with fear or hesitation, but with respect and empathy. And that's one of the greatest gifts we can give them. As your children grow, they will inevitably encounter differences, sometimes in ways you might not expect. It could be the first time they notice that a classmate celebrates a different holiday, speaks another language, or has a skin color different from their own. These moments are opportunities to help your children make sense of the world and develop respect for the diverse identities they encounter. It's essential to create a safe, open space at home where your kids feel comfortable asking questions, no matter how small or complex they seem. Make room for conversation about race, religion, language, gender, and other aspects of identity. These topics don't have to be heavy or overwhelming. They can start naturally from day to day experiences. If your child notices that a friend fasts for Ramadan, ask if they are like to learn more about it together. When they read a book about a character with a different cultural background, explore that culture further as a family. Teaching kids to ask respectful questions encourages their curiosity, showing them that learning about others is not only okay, but a valuable part of growing up. It is also crucial to equip our children to recognize and challenge bias and stereotypes. These harmful ideas are often subtle and show up in unexpected ways, whether in conversation, media, or even jokes. Helping your kids identify stereotypes and understand why they are hurtful empowers them to think critically about the messages they receive. For example, if a TV show portrays only boys as scientists and only girls as dancers, talk about it with your child. What do you think about that? Can boys dance? Can girls be scientists? I encourage your children to see differences not as barriers, but as opportunities to learn from others. Teach them that it's okay not to know everything about someone's culture or identity. What matters is the willingness to listen, learn, and approach others with kindness and respect. And yes, we need to talk about the reality of unfair treatment, bias, and discrimination. It's hard, but these are conversations we can't afford to avoid. Kids need to understand that, unfortunately, not everyone will always be treated fairly based on who they are, where they come from, or what they believe. Let them know it's okay to feel confused or upset if they witness or experience unfair treatment, but also that their voice matters. Teach them that they can be part of the solution by speaking up when something isn't right, whether it's defending a friend or simply refusing to participate in hurtful behaviors. These lessons build a sense of moral responsibility in your children, helping them that being kind and inclusive isn't just something we do when it's convenient. It's a practice that requires courage and action. Kids need to understand that even small actions like standing up for a classmate or asking thoughtful questions contribute to creating a more inclusive world. When they feel empowered to use their voice, they grow up into individuals who don't just tolerate differences, they celebrate them. As single parents, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of responsibilities. We already juggle so many roles: provider, nurturer, teacher, and role model, that adding cultural awareness to the mix can feel daunting. But here's the thing: this isn't about getting it perfect, it's about making steady progress. You don't have to have all the answers or nail every teachable moment. The goal is consistency, small intentional actions over time that shape your child's understanding of who they are and the world around them. One of the best thing about teaching cultural awareness is that it's not something you have to do alone. Tap into your village, whether that's your friends, extended family, neighbors, or local communities group. These connections are part of your child's learning environment and can help enrich that cultural education in ways that complement what you have already been doing at home. Friends from diverse backgrounds can also help widen your child's world. Hosting play dates or attending community events with families from other cultures give your child a chance to experience traditions firsthand. It's one thing to read about different cultures, but it's even more impactful when children can see, hear, and participate in those customs. Community groups, cultural organizations, or religious centers can offer a rich array of experiences: festivals, storytelling sessions, or language classes that introduce your kids to new ways of thinking and being. Remember, the goal here isn't to put extra pressure on yourself to be everything at once. Your job is to expose your children to opportunities for growth and understanding. Your village can help fill in the gaps. It could be a friend teaching your child how to cook a dish from their home country, or a neighbor inviting you both to join a cultural celebration. These experiences make a lasting impression and show your kids that learning from others is a lifelong process. And let's not forget that teaching cultural awareness also benefits you as a parent. It's a journey that challenges us to learn and grow alongside our kids. When you lean on your community, you are not just expanding your child's world, you are also creating a network of support for yourself. Parenting is a team effort, and building cultural awareness is no different. Your village can become a bridge to experiences that might not be accessible otherwise, enriching both your life and your child's with connection that celebrate diversity. Raising culturally aware children isn't something you can check off your to-do list. It's a lifelong journey. It's not just about teaching your kids facts about their heritage or introducing them to different customs. It's about shaping their mindset to be open, curious, and empathy as they grow. Just like planting a garden, you are sowing seeds of respect, curiosity, and empathy early on, nurturing them little by little so they flourish over time. The beautiful thing about this lesson is that they grow alongside your child, becoming more nuanced as they mature. When children start young by learning to embrace their own identity and recognize the value in others, they develop confidence in who they are. Knowing where they come from provides them with a sense of belonging and pride, even if their environment doesn't always reflect their heritage. And as they explore different culture, they gain the tools to navigate an increasingly interconnected world with understanding and grace. This journey will evolve with time, When your children are little, it might mean reading books with diverse family members, celebrating holidays around the world. As they grow up into teenagers, the conversation may shift to more complex topics like discussing social justice, systemic bias, or how identity shapes people's experiences. These discussions may not always be easy, but they are essential. Continuing to have this conversation, even when they become more challenging, you are preparing your children to engage in meaningful conversation about the world around them. The goal isn't just to raise kids who tolerate diversity, it's to raise individuals who actively embrace diversity, who sees differences not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to learn and connect. When your children know how to appreciate both their heritage and the richness of other culture, they become more equipped to thrive, whether that's in school, at work, or within their personal relationships. They learn that their identity and the identities of others are source of strength, not division. It's also worth noting that cultural awareness isn't static. As the world changes, new cultural movement emerges, and your children's understanding of their own culture and other cultures will evolve too. This lifelong journey teaches them to be adaptable and willing to unlearn stereotypes and bias they may have encountered along the way. It also encourages them to be lifelong learners, always curious, always open to new experiences, and always seeking connections. As a parent, you are not expected to have every answer or to navigate this journey perfectly. What matters most is your commitment to keep going, learning alongside your children, having open conversations, and embracing each opportunity to grow. This is a journey that extends beyond childhood. It will continue as your children become adults, raising families of their own and passing these values on the next generation. In the end, the seeds you plant today will blossom into a mindset that prepares your children to thrive, not just as individuals, but as compassionate, inclusive members of an interconnected world. And that's the greatest legacy you can leave them. I will leave you with a beautiful quote from Maya Angelou. It is time for parents to teach young children early on that in diversity there is beauty and there is strength. This quote speaks directly to the heart of what we have discussed today. Raising culturally aware children is about more than teaching them to understand diversity. It's about helping them recognize the beauty, strength, and richness that comes from diversity. It's about equipping them to embrace their own identity while celebrating the uniqueness of others, creating a foundation of empathy and respect that will carry them through life. Every conversation, every tradition, and every moment of learning helps shape children into the kind of people who not only thrive themselves but also help others thrive by building inclusive communities. Thank you so much for tuning in to Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. I hope this episode gave you insights, inspiration, and practical steps to begin or continue your journey in raising culturally aware kids. If you find today's conversation helpful, I encourage you to share with fellow parents, friends, or someone in your community. The more we spread these messages, the closer we come to building a future where diversity is embraced and everyone is valued. And remember, you are not alone on this journey. Parenting is tough, but you are doing an incredible job. One step at a time, one conversation at a time, you are raising kids who will make the world a better place. Until next time, keep thriving, stay curious, and embrace every opportunity to grow. Take care, and I will see you on the next episode of Beyond the Struggle, Rise and Thrive. Ciao now.